Good morning. We are going to start with lesson number 6, population, class 9. India's population is estimated to be around 1.3 billion based on the most recent data which are available. 1 out of 6 people on the planet live in India. We have doubled in a span of just 40 years. India is expected to surpass China's population by the year 2030. We need to remember the fact that we have a total geographical area of the world that is 2.4%. I mean to say 2.4% of the world's geographical area we have in India, and on which 17.5% of the population of the world resides, which is an enormous population pressure. There is no denying the fact that over a period of time we have considerably checked the population growth rate, which is definitely commendable, but population growth remains a daunting task, and we all can tackle the problem together. Many a times, children come up with the best of the ideas and suggestions. One of the questions that was posed to me in our class, that why can't we adopt a policy like that of China, that is single child policy. In today's class, we will assess the pros and the cons of the single child policy, and can we fit it in India's demographic setup. Let's start with our PowerPoint presentation and see. The rationale for implementing the one-child policy was to reduce the enormous population pressure of China's population. It was distinct from the family planning policies which are generally adopted by the other countries, where the focus is on providing contraceptive options. This is definitely an example of extreme population planning, which is generally not followed by any of the countries. This policy for the first time was introduced in the year 1979. A lot of incentives were offered to the people. Families with one child were rewarded. The compensation of around 5 yuan were given to the families. They were also offered a glory certificate. Let's try to assess the pros and the cons of one-child policy. It was supported within the country. More than 76% of the population of China was in favor of this policy. Multiple births were definitely exempted. The policy was not enforced in case of the twins and the triplets. This policy changed the position of women in the society. Earlier, the girls were not encouraged to go to schools and colleges, which definitely changed. Vocational support was given to the girls. A lot of training opportunities they got, which brought with it financial independence. A lot of rewards in forms of goods and services, service certificates were given, educational subsidies were offered, housing improvement was there, they got a longer leave period, interest-free loans were also offered to the people. It definitely led to an increase in the job opportunities and wages as the work task force decreased. Let's look at the cons, the negative points. Questionable results. Although China claims 400 million births were controlled, but other nations like Iran and Thailand could see the similar fall without such policy in place. Disparity in the childbirth ratio, which now stands at 117/400, that means for 117 males in the society, there are 100 females only, which is a clear-cut indicator that prenatal sex selection is being done in the country. And we can understand the consequences as well. By the end of the year 2020, there will be 300 million males in the society, more than the females. We need to understand one fact, that in any society where there is no gender discrimination, females always outnumber the males, as infant mortality is more associated with the male babies than it is with the female babies. Take example of Kerala from your country, which is not only a literate state but also has a matriarchal setup. What do we see in that state? There is a favorable sex ratio, which means more females and less males. This policy also led to lesser adoptions, which forced large number of children to stay in the state-run orphanages. Adoption became very expensive. Care problem for adult, which is typically called as 4:2:1 problem. It means every adult child had to take the responsibility of a set of parents and 2 sets of grandparents. Put yourself into the same shoes and see if you have to cope up with this situation. Will it be easy for you? I don't think so. Birth tourism. This also promoted birth tourism. Large number of people started emigrating from China for simply the desire of the second child. It is a clear-cut example of the violation of the human rights. Financial penalties were imposed. Forced abortions were there. Sterilization was there. The ladies which opposed, they were dealt very harshly. They were even thrown out of their jobs. Next slide. This picture focuses the burden everyone has to tackle. Conclusion. It has affected the way people are treated in China. The ratio of men to women has grown uneven and so has the population growth. People have been deprived of their choice. They are unable to have as many children as they want, unless they break the law, which includes many heavy fines and issues for the entire family. Out of the 31 Chinese provinces, 25 have made progress towards ending the policy. Many people are hoping that this 35 years old policy will come to an end soon, although the damage has already been done. And this policy will have lasting effect on China for many more years to come. Should India have a one-child policy? In the wake of demographic crisis that China is facing, India should not opt for such policy. Such question is obvious when India is marching towards beating China in this particular aspect and is going to definitely become the most populated country of the world by the year 2030. But adopting this policy is not going to be feasible at all. It will lead to shrinking working age population, which is definitely going to slow down our economic growth. India rather should work on harnessing our young and potential demographic profile. We have no dearth of the young people, the young population, which can become an asset for us. As India is already struggling with many more social evils like imbalanced population, female feticide, trafficking and other crimes. Having one-child policy would only bloat up such ills. It is going to bring more gender inequality in the country. India should rather divert its attention towards increasing the economic growth and improving the quality of life for our population. Urbanization and price rise are proving to be best contraceptives, curbing and controlling birth rate automatically. So we should not bring such a policy which violates the basic human right. So we can summarize, this policy is not very great to be practiced and followed in our country. It is going to further aggravate the problems of the gender inequality in our country. So let's not follow the China's footstep and work towards providing better opportunities to our young people, young and dynamic people, so that they become an asset for all of us. Thank you.